Oh, I love that professionally done video.
Um,
No, that's awesome.
yeah,
Uh, as we said in the pre-show, I am Jack,
I'm
and
Colleen, and
and
I am Colleen. Why do you keep disappearing?
oh,
Jack,
I'm still here.
there you go. Okay. Um, I think we're ready to get started. What do you think?
Absolutely, we promise to keep this to a half hour
Yes,
and
we
and
do.
have fun while
Uh,
we're doing it.
so let's get right on the first question. I'm going to launch it.
Okay,
And here we go.
you like my hair accessory? Is that cool?
I do.
Okay,
Awesome.
so question one: the Museum of Old Newbury has had quite a few homes, but it has not been located at what site? The corner of Fruit and High, the corner of Winter and High, the Newburyport Public Library building at 94 State Street, or the Grog at 13 Middle Street.
Oh, the grog. Remember when we could go to places like the
The Grog,
grog
or the library,
or the
or the
library
Museum of Old
or the museum?
Newbury.
Well, actually, the museum you wouldn't really be able to go to right now because we're having that enormous electrical project done.
Yeah,
So
well, that's
that's,
cool.
yeah,
And the museum has always been electric, but now it's going to be even more electric.
it's electric.
So,
Cool. All
uh,
right.
let's see how many people we had voted. We got quite a few folks on the line today. This is awesome.
It would appear, it looks like out of so far 8 people are answering questions. 8 of 9
Yep.
have voted. Um,
Okay, let's call it the first question. I'll click on end polling,
all right,
and we'll share the results.
go for it. Nice. Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. Jack, we
Wait a
have
minute. Somebody answered corner of Fruit and High. Kick those people out. They don't belong in this show. That's where it is today.
that is where it is today at 98 High Street. It has actually been in all 3 of those locations, and the one place it hasn't been is the Grog restaurant. Grog
Yeah.
is much better well known for its fabulous hamburger
I
than
go
any
to the Grog for that excellent library they have next to the bathroom. I'm
where
sorry,
you
you
can
know.
take a book, leave a book. You're right. You're
Exactly.
absolutely right.
It's just
Um,
awesome.
okay. Are
Okay,
we ready to, let's see.
question.
So
I'm
wait a
gonna
second.
stop share and you can take over.
All right. Also 6 out of the 8 got that correct. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. We're going to trust everyone to be honest in keeping track of their correct answers. And we'll catch up on how many got it correct after the 4th question. And then we'll talk a little bit more at halftime, if you will. I am going to launch. Why is this not okay? Question 2. Here we go. All righty. The $1 Million Fire happened in what year? 1811, 1861, 1934, or 1987? We'll give you one hint. There were fires in all those years, right? Because, I mean,
Yep.
let's face it, Jack, Newburyport's a pretty hot place to be.
Yeah. And you know, and it can be said that given the current demographics, anytime anybody has a backyard barbecue in the South End or on High Street, it's $1 million fire. You know, a million
Yes,
here, a million there, starts adding up to be real money.
this is true, very true. And let's see, so we have people, we've got 7 of 9 voted already. A couple more folks want to take a chance. I don't know if the 2 more people just joined, so I want them to have a chance to read this question real quickly.
Oh, people are coming in. We got the latecomers, including my spouse.
She's trying to get in though. Let's see. So 8 of 11 have voted. 9 of 11. Awesome. How we doing? Astrid, you in yet? I don't know. Let's see. All right, we're gonna have to call it at
I'll
this point,
call it.
right, Jack?
Yep.
All right, let's end the poll. And want me to share the results, Jack?
Go for it.
All right, here we go. Okay, Interesting. Six of 9 voted 1811. The actual answer is 1934, but let's tell you a little bit about the other one. So let's see, we have the Great Fire.
The Great Fire, the 1811, everybody knows this is the Great Fire because it
Right,
took
and
most
then
of downtown out.
in 61 was the church. Which church, Jack?
Congregational Church on Titcomb Street. That was during the Civil War. They had a big
Ah,
fire.
Okay, then of course we had the $1 Million Fire in 34, and 1987 was the altogether
YMCA
fire.
fire. Yeah,
Right.
right. A
Yep.
piece of which is down at the train station in Metzies.
Really?
Yeah, go to Metzies and there's an entrance there. They took a couple of pieces of brownstone. It's part of the YMCA. YMCA.
Very cool. All right, neat.
Okay, cool.
All
So
right.
the question number, shall we go to question number 3?
Yes, I'm going to bring it up right now and launch it.
Oh, okay. I
And
think,
we're up.
wait a minute.
Whoops, wait a second.
What did I do?
What? Wait a second. No, Jack. Not that one.
Probable user error. You go for it. I got it.
Yes. Okay. All righty.
Okay, you got it. Yankee Homecoming. Oh, Yankee Homecoming. And Yankee Homecoming is still happening, just in a different way, and it'll be bigger and better next year. Was started by Jack Frost, Mayor Richard Sullivan, Lord Timothy Dexter, or Caleb Cushing. Oh, we got him.
He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he's very cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
The Yankee Homecoming. So, of course, it's the 10 days, that last weekend spanning July and August is usually when they do it. And it's outdoor festivals, concerts down on the waterfront every day, right? If not, sometimes through the day. Of course, then some of the funnier events like the bed race. They started more recently the waiter race. What else?
And I just want to give a plug, even though I think the Yankee Homecoming Board is still looking at what they'll be doing this summer in different events that are socially and pandemically acceptable. We're still doing If This House Could Talk. So look for that.
And Jack, if you guys didn't know it, Jack started this house, If This House Could Talk, how many years ago?
This will be the 5th year this year, 4 times so far. So.
And how many participants do you have now?
About 125, 130 people.
Neat. Very neat.
Houses, 130 houses. Yeah. So, yeah. And other cities have done it. So it's kind of cool. So let's, I think we got 11 votes. I'm going to go ahead and hit the end polling and share the results.
All right. So.
And look at that. Mayor Richard Sullivan.
He was the popular one.
Also known as the Sullivan Building, named after him. But who was it? Who was it that?
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
Yep.
And that's about all we know about Jack, right?
Yeah, that's it. I don't know a darn thing about him. I just know he has been credited with starting Yankee Homecoming.
Started Yankee Homecoming. Fortunately, nobody picked Lord Timothy Dexter, although there was a vote for Caleb Cushing.
Well, that's okay. I can see that.
Yep.
Caleb?
Absolutely.
That could totally work. All right, and let's see. So
everybody should be keeping their score, and then we'll have a halftime true up, and then at the end.
Exactly. Okay, so let's stop sharing that one. I am going to launch question 4. And here we go. All right. This person visited Newburyport before gaining notoriety. Julius Rosenberg, Benedict Arnold, Mata Hari, or Edward Snowden?
Yeah, wow. I think any of those people could be legitimate visitors.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, even Mata Hari. Portsmouth was known for hosting the Japanese and the Russians for their Russo-Sino treaty signing, so Mata Hari could have been around and come down here for a visit. And Julius Rosenberg, he's an East Coaster. So they're all legitimate, real possibilities.
Exactly. It looks like, wow, people didn't waste any time answering the questions on these. It looks like everyone who is participating has choice. So let's end the poll and we'll share those results so y'all can see. And the answer is correct for 9
that
of you.
scumball Benedict Arnold, who loved
Jack,
Newburyport. He really liked it. We loved him until
so tell me,
screwed us over.
you have done presentations on Benedict Arnold and his connection to Newburyport. Can you give us a real short 1-minute version?
Yeah, well, Benedict Arnold amassed the troops. He had 1,100 men who came to Newburyport in 1775 to invade Quebec. Quebec was supposed to be the 14th colony, and it was Benedict and George Washington's plan to help them be that. They went through the Maine. They went through the Maine wilderness. What's that?
You really think Quebec was get out? That Quebec was going to be the 14th colony.
The Quebecois did not like the British, and
really?
I think that's I think that's still the case, actually. But as we know, Benedict Arnold later, for a lot of reasons, turned on us, the creep. Yeah. And but he did love Newburyport.
Cool.
Okay. Shall I hit relaunch?
No, you can stop sharing because we're at the halftime break.
Oh, halftime.
Yes. And what that means is if everyone can just right now maybe type in the chat section how many they have correct, just so we have a rough idea, and let us tell you what you could potentially win. Today, you are eligible, whoever wins, for 2 books from the Museum of Old Newbury. We have Images of America, Newbury, that has an incredible collection of photos that are all part of the museum, his own collections, and great information talking about Plum Island, all the Newburys. It's pretty cool. And then a beautiful, fully color book of Laura Coombs Hills, the artist, and this has 13 of her absolutely beautiful pieces of art and a story about her and everything. So it's kind of cool. We have those books. Whoever has the most answers correct actually gets bragging rights, because we don't want to have the same people winning all the time. And the actual recipient of this will be strictly based on number.
So there's 2 winners every show: the bragging rights winner and the randomly picked winner of the gift.
Correct.
And we've upgraded that gift. Last week that gift was a tour with me, which is like, who wants that? This week, I wish I could play. those are good gifts.
Cool. So kind of neat.
Thank you, museum.
So let me tell you a little bit about the Museum of Old Newbury. So, and I always have to look at this. It was when it was originally founded in 1877, it was called, and I can never remember it, the Antiquarian and Historical Society of Old Newbury. That is a mouthful. But anyway, it was originally, going back to the first question, it was originally located in the Newburyport Public Library with some artifacts, and then it moved around the early 1900s to the corner of High and Winter Streets in the Fowler home. And now, of course, we are located at 98 High Street in the Cushing House. And that was left to us by Miss Margaret Cushing, who passed away by her heirs when she passed in 1955 at the ripe old age of 100. We collect and preserve sort of the essence of Newburyport. It's a beautiful home. You're welcome to come in and do tours, and well, not right now, but when we get back to the new normal, you're welcome to come in and do tours, and you kind of get a flavor for the many residents, how the Cushing family lived, how folks, a typical bedroom, a typical parlor, and some beautiful pieces of furniture and an extensive library. Of portraits. We have so much gorgeous stuff hanging on the walls. It's wonderful. So
yeah, it is. It's a real gem. It's a
It
real
is a
jump for
gem.
the community, for sure.
Yep.
Well, I can't wait till this pandemic ends so we can get back in there, though.
Right, right. And of course, as you know, it wouldn't be open right now anyway because we're having all the electrical replaced. And of course, because we're a historical site, we cannot necessarily pull down walls to do it the way a regular electrician might approach it. So everything has to be snaked and not cause any damage to the original structure. And that is certainly a big job. And we thank all the many foundations and supporters that have made it possible.
Well, you know, Colleen, I'm looking at the chat, and there's a bunch of experts. There's at least 2 or 3 people that got all 4 right so far, and then a good smattering amongst all 11 I guess, yeah, we're up to 13 people on the call that anywhere from 1 to 3 answers correct. So it's good. So far, the questions must be pretty good because it's not like we've gotten a social where everybody picks the right one. So shall we continue?
Yes, we shall. So let's get on to the second half of the show. I'm going to launch it and have at it, Jack.
Okay, the Garrison Inn was named after John Brown Garrison, Garrison Ford, William Lloyd Garrison, or that colonial garrison that formerly stood where the inn is today. So you've got a choice here. John Brown Garrison, Garrison Ford, William Lloyd Garrison, or the colonial garrison of Newburyport that was
I'm a big fan of Garrison Ford's movies. Oh, wait, that's not his name.
No,
right?
That's Harrison Ford.
Oh, Harrison Ford. Okay, never mind. Let's see, and who else do we have? John Brown Garrison.
Hey,
all right, interesting.
Going. People were thinking about it, and there's already one person that said they answered one way and then changed their answer after they submitted it. So they're trying to get a pass on that. No passes. Bethany. Okay, shall we end the polling?
Yes.
I'll click on it. Oh, you got it. Go for it.
Yep, I'll share the results. All right, here we go. So 8 of you give yourself an extra point. And you are correct. William Lloyd Garrison, the abolitionist. And actually, Jack, the Garrison Inn used to be the restaurant, but it is still the inn, correct? They don't have.
Well, it was David's in the basement. Remember, it was David's in the basement, and then now, and now it's still a hotel, still an inn. Okay. It was the Brown family home, so John Brown Garrison wasn't too far off. But Garrison Ford, of course, play on words, and no, really, maybe there was a colonial garrison around here at some point, but that's not why.
Garrison Ford, clever Jack, but nobody fell for it.
Nobody fell for it. Oh man. But, still no social. Good questions. Let's keep on going.
I like Bethany's comment in the chat that she misses David's goat cheese and frizzled leeks. I'm with her. I miss it too. I'm going to stop sharing and launch question 6, okay? Let's see. All righty. Oops. Let me get this out of my way. And here you go. Caleb Cushing, born in Salisbury in 1800, moved to Newburyport in 1802 and served in what political role or roles? U.S. Attorney General, Newburyport Mayor, U.S. Congressman, or all of the above?
I did not know he was born in Salisbury.
Yes, he was.
Huh. Wow.
And they actually want to know something about, you know how we refer to it colloquially as the Cushing House? The Museum of Old Newbury is the Cushing House. When it was his father, John Newmarch Cushing, that house was not built for them. It was built for Captain William Hunt in 1801 for he and his family, and he never saw it. He perished at sea before the house was completed.
Wow.
So Widow Hunt moved in, and then I think it was 1808 that the Cushing family went into the garden side of the house ultimately taking the whole thing over. But
And
yeah,
Caleb only lived there, if anything, as a child, right?
probably, yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Not very long. Not very.
Caleb was a pretty smart guy. Did you know he got accepted to Harvard University at the age of 13 and graduated at 17?
Wow. No, I
Yeah.
did not know that. Very
So,
cool.
very smart man.
Okay, it looks like we
All right.
got most of the answers. Most people answering.
All righty, let's end the poll and share the results. And the correct answer is 9 of you. Give yourselves an extra point. It is all of the above. He was Newburyport's first mayor, as well as U.S. Attorney General under Franklin Pierce, President Pierce, and a congressman multiple times, both, before 2 different terms. I can't remember what they are. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah. Now, do you know when he was Attorney General, he had advocated, we'll go back to this, for the takeover of Quebec.
Oh no!
He wanted to invade
Will
Quebec
do.
and take over and make it part of the U.S. And his good friend was who often visited Newburyport,
Was
Confederate President Jefferson Davis.
I did not know that. Wow.
We needed that cotton from somewhere for our mills.
Good point. Right. All right. Let's.
Okay.
We are Jack. We're even staying right on pace here too.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing it and launch question 7. Okay.
Go for it.
All right. And go.
Question 7. Constructed in 1940, the popular Port Tavern, located at 84 State Street, was previously home to several changing bookstores, supermarkets, insurance companies, or political campaign offices.
And Jack, we of course have to give the Port Tavern props because kind of like this is an amalgamation of trivia shows, sort of like Jeopardy meets Wait, Don't Tell Me meets Stump Trivia, which is home at Port Tavern, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, we stole their idea, just like we stole NPR's idea. But
Always a good idea.
yeah, well, Port Tavern's the only. I think Michael's does a Port Tavern did one on Tuesdays and Michael did one on Thursdays.
Okay.
For trivia.
Right. Of course, unfortunately, neither of those places. People are stuck with us now.
Yep, that's the way it is.
It is the way it is.
Okay, we're coming up. If you haven't put your answer in, put it in now before we close the polling on this.
Looks like we got 11 of 13. Anyone else coming in?
That's it.
Yep. Call it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You click.
Yep, and I'll share the results. And the correct answer for 6 of you, anyway, 50%, is supermarkets.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it was started by A&P. There was Sampson's Red and White Market. There was Clipper City Market, and that's what I could find. But Jack, you were mentioning to me, you thought maybe.
Darn it, I was going to research this since we last talked and I didn't find it, but I thought for sure I saw a picture of the First National there. So, but maybe it could have been the First National across the street or something like that.
Right. I don't know, but
definitely the A&P.
Yeah, well, A&P, yes. And for what does A&P stand for?
Atlantic and Pacific Tea
Okay.
Company. Atlantic and Pacific Tea Company.
Cool.
But,
very cool. All right.
Okay, and now our final question of the half hour.
Ready? Question 8. Launch question. All righty. Andrew Jackson Bossy Gillis ran for mayor of Newburyport 20 times, but he was only elected how many?
Only.
2? Only elected. 2, 3, 6, or 9?
That's, the case can be made that Mr. Gillis was Trump before there was a Donald Trump.
He was a colorful character. I'll give you that. Well, I mean, Andrew Jackson,
man of the people, that type of thing.
The
colorful.
Bossy, where do you think he got the name Bossy?
He's the boss. This is like the 1930s when he kicked off his career. So it was like, gangsta mobster times, right? Not to say I'm not, I'm sure there's Gillis family on the call here. I don't want to denigrate anybody.
Oh. All right, let's see how we doing. We got 12 of 13. Interesting. It's 12:27. Want to call it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, in fact, 6 times is the correct answer.
6 times.
Yes.
6 times.
3 of you got that right. Okay. So, if everyone can say how many they got correct out of all 8 questions into the chat, Jack is actually going to unmute everyone, right?
Yeah, I am going to unmute as soon as I figure out where I can unmute them all. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're unmuted. And you can certainly turn on your video if you
want us to put on the video. There we go.
Cool.
Nice. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Let's see.
Stop sharing the results. That's cool.
2, 3, 4, 6.
These are die-hard history.
I wouldn't say that, Jack.
Hi, Bethany.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how are you? Hi, Madison.
So I'm looking at who's the winner? Who got them all right? Who has bragging rights?
Well, actually, it looks like it's a toss-up between Bethany and Bob Watts. Bethany, I don't understand. How do we get 6.5?
I'm fighting for my half a point for knowing the right answer for the fire one, but accidentally clicking the wrong box.
Oh.
But I'll give that up.
Unlikely story.
I don't know. That's a tough one.
All right.
Well, you know what? I have to say, it's definitely, again, Bethany and Bob Watts. You guys have the bragging rights.
Holy moly!
But to determine
Bob are like this.
The two books from the Museum of Old Newbury, we have already selected a number between 1 and 25. Pop your guess into the chat area, and the person closest without going over will win. And I'll get your address. I'll give you a quick buzz, but let's see.
And the winner from last week's not on the call. What is it? Bridgewater.
Yes.
What the heck? We got to arrange their tour to Custom House.
Yeah. All right. What do we have? Chris, 17, Bethany, 18, Bob, 9. Anyone else going to toss a number in?
If we have 2 with the same number, should I change mine again?
Okay, yes.
All right. I'll change my answer.
Okay. All right. Anyone else throwing a number in? Okay, it's 12:29. We just hit 12:30, and today's winner of the books is Mr. Bob Watts.
Whoa, he's a double winner.
The number was 14. So yeah, he not only has bragging rights, but he also gets the lovely images of America and Laura Coombs Hills.
Oh, isn't that nice? Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Yeah,
awesome.
Great.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, thanks.
Thank you.
You want to have lunch? See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Thanks, Jack.
History.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye.